Good morning. We're back again. It's December 2nd. And we got some ripping to do. But first of all, well, I'll show you. Taking the battery charger because the lift is not in the mood to start. I guess its battery's not good, so we're gonna put this on there. You can see the red thing right there. Well, we'll talk about it here in a bit. Okay, so this is an inline ripper here. Yeah, came in on the truck yesterday evening. It's a 5 shank, and the reason we got it is because we have some land that's a little hillier, and instead of like deep ripping it like we did there, out there you can see that disc it up and everything, on the hills and stuff, it wants to wash if we deep rip it like that. So this is going, this pretty much, instead of tilling it all up like that, this will pretty much just go underneath with just a skinny shank there. That'll break up everything. But it won't till it all up like that out there will. Okay guys, so here we are. It is February 11th, and the video was kind of a little short because I hadn't been feeling the best on that day, whatever, but we did end up ripping quite a few other acres. So yeah, we're back here. You might be wondering what this tank and all this is. This is our vacuum system for the maple syrup. This will suck the sap from the trees. There's tubing. Hopefully we can get a video out of this here in another couple weeks or a month or so. But yeah, there's the tank. There's not much in there you can see. That's just like the ice and stuff from when we drained it last. So yeah, hopefully we'll have this in one of the next videos here. You can see that's where the sap comes in. Maybe you can see right in there. I'll show you in another video, hopefully. So that's what we got going on here. Okay, so I want to share a little bit with you something that's been on my mind for the last little while. So I want to tell you a little bit about the love that Jesus has for us. So Jesus created the earth at the beginning of time. He made a perfect world. Man sinned, fell short. 4,000 years after that, God sent Jesus to the earth to atone for every single one of our sins. Jesus was betrayed by one of his closest friends, which then he was taken to court and he was sentenced to die, even though he had done nothing wrong, nothing at all. He lived a perfect life. He was sentenced to die, and he was brutally beaten, and then he was crucified on a cross. Guys, we don't know how an awful, terrible suffering that is. I mean, it's just awful, and yet he had done nothing wrong. But he did that because he loved each one of us so much. He loved us so much that he went through all that, taking upon himself. The physical hurt was awful, I'm sure, but he took upon him all the sins of the entire world, of every single person that was on earth before he came to earth, and everyone that will be on earth after he came to earth. He took all those sins on him at that moment and died so that we could have forgiveness through Jesus, and so that we could accept him into our lives, and we could have freedom. We can live fulfilled lives. Guys, I tell you, God is living for Jesus is literally, like, it is the best way. I mean, like, you might say, oh yeah, it's good for you. Well, it's actually really good for everyone, because you might have everything you want, but there's still that sense of not having accomplished something, of lacking something, and it's because if you don't have Jesus in your life, that's what you're lacking. Jesus created us to worship something, and he's the one that deserves our worship. He died for every single one, even people he knew that would reject him, that would reject his message, and even the people that nailed him to the cross. And in all reality, we are the ones that nailed him to the cross because we sin. Like, even those who physically nailed him to the cross, he forgave those. And it's just such an amazing story of how much Jesus actually loved us. Look, if you don't have Jesus in your life, it is worthless. If we don't have Jesus in our life, once Jesus returns, or if we die before he returns, we're not going to be with him in heaven. It's the sad, like, reality. And, like, if we're not saved by Jesus' grace, and if he hasn't come into our lives and isn't there working in our lives, we can't go to heaven. Jesus is the only way. And for those who do not follow the way that Jesus has made for us, we have this ending of hell hanging over us. If we don't accept Jesus, that's where we're going. And I'm telling you this because I don't want anyone to go to hell. It's a place where we can't even imagine how awful it is, and we don't like to talk about it, but that's the reality. Joy awaits those who follow Jesus. But if you're not following Jesus, and you're just rejecting Jesus, like, the end will be very sad. It's not fun to talk about, but I'm telling you this because I don't want anyone, and Jesus doesn't want anyone to go to hell. But he is also a just God, and yeah. So that's the message I want to leave with you, and it doesn't matter up to this point. Jesus is willing to forgive you no matter what you have done. Like, anything. God will forgive you. If you turn away from that sin, and if you give your life wholly to Jesus, he is going to be ready there waiting with open arms, because he died for our sins and he has forgiven us. So thank you for watching, and thank you to all you who have subscribed, and yeah, thanks for watching Troyer Family Farms, and yeah, we will catch you next time.